Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Solana. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. If you haven't seen the previous update, make sure to watch that before watching this one. It's going to be linked in the top right hand corner of the screen. Now let's jump straight into the TA. So we're on the daily chart right now, and as you can see, we're potentially in a rising wedge pattern here, which is a bearish pattern, and it's found when you are getting overextended in an uptrend. And the target from this pattern is going to be all the way down here at $51.69. That is going to be your technical target. Now, I'm not saying we're going to get there. I'm not saying we're definitely going to see that target met just because we are in this pattern, but that is just something that you have to keep an eye on. Of course, you also have a second touch here in November. So this is a really good support level. And from where we are right now, that would be a 27.7% pullback, which is very doable in my opinion. If Bitcoin is going to see a deeper pullback here down to, the upper 36K range, Solana coming back down to $51.70 is not too unthinkable. And if you take a look at the daily RSI, immediately here we can identify a bearish divergence. You have the RSI that is printing a lower high, and you have the price action that is printing a higher high. Now, for this to be invalidated, we of course have to do a few things here. So first of all, to invalidate the rising wedge, which is a bearish pattern, we have to break above the resistance, and we have to continue pumping quite impulsively, because with this impulsive move to the upside, we're going to start moving up with the RSI, and that way we're going to get all the way up above this high here. That is the goal there. That way we invalidate the rising wedge and we invalidate the bearish divergence. But is that going to happen? That's a totally different question. We could come back down to the support of the wedge and have a bounce from there and then have a breakout. That's always possible. I'm not saying that the uptrend is done here. You can see there was a bit of a wick to the downside, but there is a lot of buying pressure here. So it's going to be hard to take Solana down below $50 in my opinion, but I'm not saying it's impossible. What we can also do is, let's say we assume that this is going to be our local top and we are not going to be going any higher. We can set up a Fibonacci retracement, and then again, if Solana moves up a bit higher, you can always adjust the fib, but we can set up a Fibonacci retracement here from the local high in December here to the local low in September. This was a massive move to the upside, so we approximately made 345%, and of course this blue support block that I gave you was retested here in September. We were covering this on the channel for multiple months before we even got down to these blue blocks. We managed to pick up this bottom here. We managed to give you all of these entries because we had these support levels laid out way in advance. So this Fibonacci retracement is just going to give us a few levels to target once we're going to start retracing back down. So the absolute bottom here that I would be expecting for Solana is $30.70. And again, that would be a hefty pullback. I think this is going to be more than 50% even. So 57.3%. Is that possible? Anything's possible, but I'm not going to say that that is definitely going to be happening. A more probable level, if we lose the $50 mark, is going to be $43.21. That is going to be your 0.382, and of course you have the 0.5 here at $36.45. Now keep in mind, there is a possibility we're going to be seeing some black swan events, maybe one, maybe two, before the bull market even starts. So just always have some spare cash on the sidelines. That way you're going to be able to always buy the bottom if we have a massive flash crash, a correction in the markets. But from a technical standpoint, of course, coming back down to this high here that we printed in July and, back testing that as support would be great, because you can see that we had this resistance level, we broke above it, but we haven't we haven't really seen a backtest of support, and maybe we don't need to see it in this instance because Solana is very bullish, but we need to see some sort of a healthy retracement before we continue to the upside, because the higher you go without retracements, the louder the fall is going to be. That's just the way things work. Now let's switch over to the daily chart. And before we continue with the video, I quickly want to mention my Patreon that's linked down below in the description. If you enjoy my content, you want to get more exclusive content, and you want to support me at the same time, definitely feel free to check out the Patreon, because you're going to get a 7-day free access on my Patreon and an instant access to all of my content since October 2021, which is when I started. You'll get access to content like exclusive weekly podcasts, and we're starting to invite guests already. We have 40 plus low cap gem posts. We have a bunch of project reviews. We have a bunch of resources that are going to help you save time and make more money with this upcoming bull market. So this is definitely a great exchange of value for the both of us. And once again, there's a 7-day free trial. Feel free to check it out. You can leave anytime, and let's continue with the video. I did say the daily chart, sorry, I meant the weekly chart. So taking a look at the weekly, you can see that we are running into the golden ratio here. We have a bit of a different Fibonacci setup. So if we zoom in, you can see you have this swing low printed in January 2023. And you have the all-time high from November 2021 at $250. So we set up this Fibonacci retracement with this low and this high, and we get our minimal target in the bull market at $597, which I think is going to be met. To be honest with you, if Solana continues, with this sort of momentum, and we are only, if we take a look at the ruler here, we're only 255% away from the all-time high prices, then getting to $600 is not going to be that far-fetched. From the current prices, that is going to be a 743%. So you're not even looking at a massive gain here, or I should say life-changing gains if you're going to be entering at at these current levels. So if you are going to be waiting for a retracement, let's say you enter at even $43 here, which is where the 20 EMA is, then things do start looking a bit more juicy, because now you're looking at a 1300% move to the upside if you're going to be selling at $600. So this is just something for you to understand and to set up your targets in advance, depending on your financial situation, depending on your goals, and depending on how much money you want to be making and what is your risk tolerance. Because again, you don't want to be sitting with your entire bag until you get to $600 if that's your major target. Because what if we get to $580 and then we see a correction to the bear market? You do not want to be riding that wave down, trust me. So taking profits along the way is always smarter. That way your average sell price is going to be somewhere closer to your initial target that you wanted to sell your bag at, and that's just a safer thing to do. But of course, I'm not a financial advisor. You should decide how you spend and how you sell your tokens by yourself. So taking a look at the golden ratio, this is a very important level that we need to break here, and we are failing to do so. Now, I did give you this in the previous update, I think on November 14th, and we were extremely bullish. I think I even gave you that level a few weeks back before November 14th. We were talking about this golden ratio at $73, and I told you guys there's a possibility we're going to be running into that as resistance, but I did not expect us to blast through all of these resistance levels and get there immediately. This was a really powerful move, but as you can see, the golden ratio, once again, proving that it's the most important and the strongest level on the entire Fibonacci retracement. So a move back down from here is possible. And you can take a look at the fib here, the fib level, which is 0.5. That would be another entry at $50. Then you have $34. You have the 20 EMA. You have the 55 EMA on the weekly. And then you have this teal trend line. So this teal trend line held us as support multiple times already since the bear market bottom here in December 2022. And if we have a flash crash, if we have a black swan event, it is possible we're going to be bouncing off of that and having another move to the upside. Of course, nothing is guaranteed, but having this trend line on your chart just in case is always good. We can also confirm that we have started getting a good amount of volume coming in. and you can see that it's nothing compared to the 2021 volume candles that we were getting, but since we were breaking above a major resistance level, actually a few of them, multiple, so we had this channel down pattern, right, that kept us down every single time we hit it, or I would say a resistance, a diagonal resistance, and then we had this horizontal resistance, this red line, if you can see it, we've been hitting it for a few months, and then we also have the 20 EMA and the 55 EMA. All of that was broken in one swift, impulsive move to the upside. That is what I like to see. Now, taking a look at the oscillators here, this is extremely overbought. I'm not going to lie. I would not be recommending you buying any Solana at the current prices because we're very high. We're very, very far away from the 20 EMA. So this is very, very overextended. And I'm not saying we're not able to potentially come up to $80, $85, but there is going to be a retracement, and the higher you go without retracing, the stronger you're going to correct down, and that's just the way things work. So if we take a look at the RSI, there is a nice level here that we can target in case you don't have any Solana and you're looking for a nice entry point. So between 62.2 down to 57.5 on the index here, you're going to have a nice entry. As you can see, this was a support and resistance back in December 2021. Then we retested the level as resistance in July earlier this year, and then we had a massive breakout. So coming back down to this level, potentially consolidating here before having another breakout into 2024 and 2025 is a real possibility. So feel free to set up those buy limit orders in advance. Feel free to monitor the RSI. Also, take a look at the stochastic. Once we are down in the oversold once again, like we were down here, this was an amazing time to be accumulating. As you can see, July, August 2022, October 2022, these were great prices to be buying into Solana. Then we dipped into the oversold one more time in, this was June 2023. And if we end up doing that one more time, that is going to be another great opportunity for you to buy. You know, regardless of the price, the stochastic is just showing you that the momentum has died down. And this, of course, is a short to mid-term trading indicator. I would not be using this for long-term. We can change the settings up a bit, and that way we can have it more of a long-term outlook, but we already have the RSI, the relative strength index for that, so we don't really need two indicators giving us the same thing. But of course, feel free to play around with the settings. There are a lot of tutorials on how you can set up the stochastic in different ways. So let me know what are your targets for the next bull market. Let me know if you did end up buying into Solana at the support levels we gave you back in January 2023, back in June 2023, because we were making videos on Solana this entire bear market, and I outlined the support blocks immediately for you, and it just took us, a few months to drop to them. If you were patient, you entered at those incredibly bearish points, then right now you're reaping the rewards, and congratulations, my friend. Stay safe and have a great day.